When's the beginning of e-commerce? Well, it started March the 4th of 1983. How do I know? I was there. I'm the guy who founded the first e-commerce business. In March the 4th of 1983, we did our first data upload. But the company's older than that. Back in 1981, I bought a computer just like this, an IBM personal computer with 16 kilobytes of memory and 2 floppy disk drives. And my wife said, "How come all I ever see is your back?" She wanted one too. And we went into the newspaper classified ads to find a used computer, and we were amazed. It was chaos. The prices are all over the place. The descriptions didn't make any sense. And we resolved right then to create a business to help people who owned computers sell them to people who wanted them. In the beginning, it was a card and paper and pencil business. We used blue cards and yellow cards. I want to sell, I want to buy. And we went to meetings of the Computer Society in Boston and held the cards up. If you want to sell your computer, fill in one of these. We took the cards home in the evening and laid them out on the living room floor and would match them up. Here's a guy who wants to sell an Apple One. And here's a guy who wants to buy an Osborne. We'd match them up, call people up, and make sales. A friend gave us a copy of the Alpha 2 database management program, and we began computerizing all the paper records. And that allowed us to sort through the buyers and sellers much more quickly. Well, my wife Cameron's father was involved with modems and data communication. He gave us a 300 bit per second modem, and we contacted a local business in Cambridge called a video text company, Delphi by name. And they had a VAX computer and 12 modems at the front door. They could have a whole bunch of people talk to their computer at once. And we struck a deal with them to take our database and publish it on their bulletin board system. March the 4th, 1983, at 300 bits per second, we uploaded the first data from the Boston Computer Exchange to the Delphi system. And the next day we got a phone call from Santiago, Chile, from a person who was looking at the bulletin board and wanted to buy one of the computers. That's the beginning of e-commerce. The Boston Computer Exchange got bigger over the course of years. The Wall Street Journal wrote about it in one of its articles. So did the New York Times. In fact, lots of media had to write about the Boston Computer Exchange because it was a pretty radical idea in its time. Electronic commerce, telling people about products for sale by posting it on bulletin boards. When the internet came in, the Boston Computer Exchange was one of the very first businesses to have an internet presence and a way to buy, sell, and trade things online. The Boston Computer Exchange was a pretty active place in the 80s and 90s. As you can see from the picture, we were a pretty busy place to do business with thousands of computers trading. We wrote the book on how to run an e-commerce business called A Seat on the Exchange and published it and created copies of our business all over the world. When did it all start? March the 4th of 1983. Of course, now you go to a computer and you find things like eBay and Williams-Sonoma and Amazon.com. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got an e-commerce business now, but it all started March the 4th, 1983, Boston, Massachusetts, with the Boston Computer Exchange. I'm Alex Randall. That's your little piece of history.